Boise State's obviously putting up a lot of points this year. How do you, what's kind of the overall assessment of, what you guys need to do to perform well on Saturday?
Well, I think we need to continue to improve, defensively, schematically, and, each week we've gotten a little better. They obviously pose you some challenges. They're running an awful lot of plays. They're a high-tempo offense. We've got to control their tempo and play to their speed level. And the first thing it starts with is stopping the run, because everything that they do functions off of getting their running game going and play action pass, and they do a good job of keeping you off balance. So it's a big challenge for our defense to see. They're a little bit different than the teams we've played so far. They're more of a one-back, wide open scheme. So we're looking forward to the challenge.
You guys, I think, are 38 right now in the country in total defense. Is that about where you thought you'd be, or?
I didn't put much thought to it. Obviously, I think we're doing some decent things defensively. There's still a lot of room for improvement. The plays that did bust out on us, that's a big concern. You're obviously trying to limit the big plays. That's a big part of our philosophy. It starts with stopping the run, and we didn't do a great job of that last week. They rush yardage and totals were, a lot bigger than we had, hoped for. And we've obviously got to do a better job of stopping the run. That starts everything off. So I think getting some guys back this week hopefully will help us. Defensively, we've been missing a couple players lately, but some of our young guys have done a good job of stepping up into the roles, and got a lot of valuable playing time, which would benefit us down the road for depth factor.
Safe to assume we'll see Will in the starting role this week, at least for this week.
Well, right now he's been bumped up to the starter. We're still day to day with Adam Williams, so hopefully he and Dylan Bradley will be back, and that will give us a lot more depth at that position. It was a little scary there last week, but Will did a great job for us, filling in for, Rakeem. Obviously that was a big loss for us, but, those guys, Adam Williams, Will, and Dylan have done a great job of stepping up for him.
A little bit more about Dylan. I guess Arkansas was the first time we saw a lot of him this year. What was your assessment of how he held his own?
Dylan's going to be a really good player. I mean, obviously he's very explosive. He's a little bit undersized, but he plays with great leverage and a lot of energy. He's got a pretty good motor getting to the football. So I think he's just going to get better and better.
What about Tarek? I mean, he 10 tackles against Arkansas, I guess, in his first career start. Did he? What grade would you give him from last
Well, Tarek's been with me for a while now, so finally I think he's starting to understand the concepts. He's playing better and better every week. He's worked hard this summer. He's gained some weight. Holding that weight is a big issue we get on him every day about. But he continues to improve, and he's a good athlete. He's long, athletic. He has a good change of direction. So hopefully he can continue to improve, and that gives us a lot of depth and a lot of flexibility with these multiple these multiple formation teams and teams that are tempo oriented. You're going to have to play more than you're one deep. You've got to keep guys fresh. So the more guys that we get playing experience, and the more they improve, the better we're going to be defensively.
Going back to Will, what are his strong points?
He's got a great work ethic. He's smart. He's long. He's a little bit slight right now. He's probably about 265, 270. But his length makes up for some of that. But he's got, he's an extremely hard worker, and does whatever you ask of him. It was obviously a big adjustment for him to move inside, but I think as every week and every rep he gets better and better.
How important was this week off for your defense, just getting healthy and getting rested up?
It was, it was very important for us. We went into, Arkansas without, a couple quality players. And, we're going to get hopefully most of those guys back that were, not seizing any injuries. We're going to, get Dylan Rita back. Gave Tarek Wright, he banged up his shoulder. He's been playing with stingers, so hopefully the added time off will let him heal. Emmanuel Johnson, hopefully he's going to be back. So, every day that they get to, get their legs back underneath them, Adam Williams is hopefully going to be ready to go this week. So, getting those guys back adds to the depth, and it's an important week to get everybody we can back with, as many plays as Boise is going to run. They're obviously, last week they, like we said, they ran 105 plays. So we're going to need every available body to, keep guys fresh, to rotate them in and out.
And I hear you talk a lot about schematics. What schematically are you going to do to, help, prepare for 100 plays potentially?
Well, defensive football's changed. When you play tempo teams, you can't expect guys to play the amount of plays that they play in a row. I mean, it's one thing if you're waiting, 30 seconds in between plays and catching your breath, but tempo teams don't allow you to do that. So you've got to have a system in place where you can rotate guys in on the fly and keep them fresh and keep them playing hard. It's almost like, I equate it to a hockey shift where they dump the puck in and they change on the fly, and that's what you have to do. As soon as the ball's down, you got to get guys in there that you can, keep fresh legs so that they can keep playing and match the tempo of the offense.